Thank you so much, Dr. Claudio Cora, President Cerezo, the other distinguished members of the panel who spoke before us. I don't know how to define this conference or the part of this conference. There's so much seasoned information, nay, wisdom that has been made, and the problem seemed to be well defined. But we are at the stage of coming to an understanding a planetary problem. We have been a species of tribesmen some 10,000 years ago, and then we became nation builders, empire builders, and yet we were distinct and apart. And now we're confronting a common problem, the problem of survival. On this forthcoming conference, our science tells us that we may be able to respond to the survival challenge. We're understanding that the overheated Earth can perish, and unless we are able to diminish the carbon that we have deposited because of our industrial might, we may never see the greening, or as Cora puts it, ultimately the bluing of our blessed Earth. But the answers seem to be clearer, and the difficulties seem to be more marked on the communities in the South. We must seek for equity, but in seeking for equity in providing the answers, how do we participate in confronting the solution? We see the risk. We do not want the risk to become a disaster, and the disaster ultimately to be a ruin of our species. Some 20 years ago, a fellow came to the Philippines. His name was Victor Sibek. He recommended that we hold a conference on the ocean, which I obligingly organized for him. And fortunately, I had a president like President Cerezo who supported. There was a member of the House of Lords who was with him, and they had a concept of the protection of the ocean, the ACOP, Association for the Protection of the Sea. We discussed the fundamentals. We are an ocean country after all because of these tiny slivers of archipelagic land that surround us. And we realized that indeed we are highly vulnerable. Science information tells us now that we're the third most vulnerable. And tomorrow, the German study will show that we could be the most vulnerable, the first most vulnerable. The focus on the ocean is indeed a fresh approach to survival, and perhaps an approach that the countries who have been at the brunt of this development process of humanity, this human species, must truly strengthen so that we can make the contribution towards creating a green-blue planetary community. Tomorrow, efforts will be shown, and the cooperative enterprise must be put together, lest we may never see the beginning of the successful solution to the overheated Earth. Our South consciousness must awaken. We must strengthen our capacity to gather the wisdom that we have been able to organize through the years. And I think that in this cooperative endeavor of North and South, and not North-North, and not a landlocked vision, but a land and ocean vision can give the response to our planetary survival. Thank you.